Imagine you're going out for a walk in nature, and all of a sudden you see this cute little cub. What do you want to do? You want to go pet it. But it's a mountain lion cub, and where there's a mountain lion cub, there's a mama.
And this is the situation that Kyle Burgess found himself in very recently. So in a moment, we're going to go moment by moment with Kyle and figure out what happened with this mama mountain lion.
No in a moment. We're going to do it now. Let's go to Utah and let's meet Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kevin, it's Kyle. I'm so happy to be on the show today.
It's so nice to meet you, man. Can you tell us about the day leading up to the hike?
Okay. Yeah, so before the hike, I got off my job at UPS, and me and my wife usually go out for a lunch, and I decided that I would go on a hike later that day. I got my running shoes on, got everything ready, kind of went to the trailhead. Probably about halfway through is kind of when I ran into some wildlife.
And what happened when you saw those cubs in your path up ahead?
I originally thought they were bobcats, just because I have seen bobcats before. And normally most wildlife, for me, runs off once they see a human. I need to go that way anyway. I'll take some cool video of whatever this is.
And as you get closer, it dawns on you that these aren't bobcats.
Once I kind of realized they were not bobcats, it was already too late.
And before we finish Kyle's story, we'd like to bring on Denise Peterson. Denise is a GIS analyst for the Mountain Lion Foundation. Do you mind telling me what the Mountain Lion Foundation is?
So the Mountain Lion Foundation is an organization whose mission is to ensure that mountain lions in America thrive and survive in the wild. Our focus is primarily on education, outreach, and helping to inform policy decisions with the best available science.
Sounds like a pretty cool job, Denise. What do you do there?
So I wear a lot of different hats with the Mountain Lion Foundation. I'm one of their Western Region coordinators, so I oversee 8 different states. We do a lot of work with policy in each of these different states too, so I keep an eye on that. If situations arise with an encounter, I deal with that.
Well, okay, back up. What is a GIS analyst?
And GIS is Geographic Information Systems, which is a way of processing and mapping data.
Awesome. Sounds like you're exactly the person we need to be talking to. So I've been told that you not only studied Kyle's footage, but you've also met him and you retraced his steps.
I did. We had a really good hike up the mountain, and he actually took us to the place where the encounter happened and gave us the rundown.
Perfect. Let's roll the tape.
So, Kyle, that's a mountain lion, right? But you think it's a bobcat until...
Because she darted right at me and she kind of made that growl, and it was very, very intimidating. Wow, there is a mama cougar that doesn't want me next to her kids, and she's not happy with me.
Go away!
Whoa.
No.
That is kind of when I took my steps, a few steps back, keeping my eyes on her, kind of knowing where she was, not turning around and running. Kind of felt like she was trying to flank me and come up behind me. And so I didn't want that to happen. She kept doing her little pounces, knowing that if she pounced, I kept moving back. And that's kind of when I also noticed as well, every time I took my eyes off her, or even bent down just the slightest and made myself look a little bit smaller, she would pounce at me because she kind of felt like I was vulnerable and I was weak at that point in time.
So Denise, what is she actually doing here? Is she stalking?
That's not stalking behavior in any way, shape, and form. So mountain lions are ambush predators that rely on concealment or cover from their environment. So their goal, because they're not long distance runners, is to get as close as they can without being seen until they can pounce on their prey. So if it had been stalking behavior, Kyle wouldn't have known that she was there. It was very clearly defensive behavior. Mama lion didn't see food. She saw a threat to her offspring, so she just wanted to get him out of the area so she could go back to her babies and move on to a safer place.
No, go away! Go away!
Whoa.
No!
Oh, whoa.
So when she started pouncing at me, I didn't know if she was either trying to jump at me or if she just wanted me to back up. And that's why, honestly, I just kept backing up as much as I did without trying to make her more angry at me than she already was. I just continued to back up, hoping that she wouldn't come closer to me because I was obviously pretty darn scared.
She actually turned sideways a couple of times, and her goal was to make herself look big, make herself look more threatening, but not necessarily to attack. You could tell that she saw this person, this individual coming down the trail, approaching her cubs, and to her this was a threat to their well-being.
Now, Kyle, why didn't you just run away?
Yeah.
Because mountain lions are predator animals, and that would trigger that instinct and we would become the prey. I knew if I ran, I would then become a kitty meal that day.
Man, I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm actually laughing with you. It's some scary stuff there. I'm just glad you're okay. I don't know if I would have done that, but did Kyle do the right thing?
If you start fleeing, you're perceived or can be perceived as prey. Another thing that he did that was really well done was that he didn't turn his back to the cat. He maintained eye contact. He continued to face her. So that way it didn't expose vulnerability. It didn't, again, seem like a prey type of behavior. So that was another thing that he did really well. He also yelled and kept talking to the cat. That's something that a deer or an elk won't do. That behavior says, look, I'm human. I understand what's going on.
I'm talking to her, hopefully just calming myself down, letting her know that I'm there. And at the same time, I'm thinking, wow, this is going on for a very long time. One hand had my phone in it, videoing, and then I had my other hand up in the air to the side of me, and as well as kind of making my shoulders look a little bit broader, yelling so that I sound really big and so that I sound scary. So eventually I was able to get a good distance between me and the mama cougar when I felt like it was okay for me to grab a rock. Even if she did lunge at me or pounce at me, I should have had enough time to grab the rock, get back up, and toss the rock. And which I did. I was able to get down, lean to the left of me, grab a big rock, it was probably about 5-7 pounds, toss it in her direction, and it hit the ground next to her, and it startled her enough that she ran off.
Kyle, that's some incredible stuff. What happened after you turned off the video?
I was so relieved that she ran off. And it's also, there's just so much adrenaline kind of pumping through me at that time.
Yeah, so that just happened. Wow. You see that? Oh, someone come actually. Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah,
It was so unreal that I almost didn't think even happened. It almost felt like a dream.
And you said you still had to go back down that trail in the direction of the mountain lion to get out of the park?
No.
So on my way back down, I had a stick in my left hand and a rock in my other, waiting for something else to come at me or even the mama cougar to come back at me. The relieving part was probably around 50 yards in, there was 2 hikers that came up the trail, and I stopped them really quick. I was like, whoa, like, wait a second, did you see the mama cougar and her cubs? And they kind of played it off like I was joking to them. But I showed them the video on my phone. I was like, no, and they were just as surprised as everybody else was when they saw that in my video. But that gave me more relief because they just came up the canyon where the cougar was. And I only had about 2 miles back to the trailhead to where my car was.
I bet that was a big relief when you finally made it to your car. Now, how scared were you the whole time? Did you think you weren't gonna make it?
There's definitely a point where I thought that I was gonna get hurt. I don't think it came to my head that I was going to die, but it really came to that, oh, I might come out of this with some missing limbs possibly.
Okay, Denise, if the mountain lion would have pounced on Kyle, which I'm glad he didn't, but if he did, what should he have done?
One of the things to remember is if a mountain lion does attack, fight back. because they're conflict-averse animals, and if they perceive risk to themselves, they're gonna take off. Because again, a deer's not really going to fight back all that much. Prey typically does not fight back all that much. So if you fight back, there's a really good chance that the lion will flee the scene.
Dad,
Yeah,
we're never going hiking again.
never. Now that we've scared all of our viewers from ever going out to the great outdoors, tell us what's the actual likelihood that anyone who's out there hiking would end up in Kyle's situation?
They're really quite secretive, and to get eyes on a mountain lion in the wild is incredibly rare. I've been tracking them for years and I've still not seen one in the wild. So it's rare.
Thank you. See? Not that common.
Guess not.
Anyway, Denise, if you do see one, how do you recognize it as a mountain lion?
So a mountain lion typically is tan or tawny in color throughout most of its body. The underbelly fur will be sometimes a little bit lighter. And they have rounded ears that are black on the back with light white undertones. And then they have a unique distinguishing mustache on their face with a little bit of white intermixed. And then they have really long tails with a brown tip at the end. I think if you live in mountain lion country or any wild animal country, it's important to understand what to do if there's a conflict.
And what's that?
Don't run, don't turn your back, maintain eye contact, make yourself look big, yell, throw things, because I've generally got water bottles or backpacks or trekking poles or something that I can throw at the animal. Because again, you don't want to crouch down.
We always think it's not going to happen to us running into these animals, but I thought that and they happened to me. And so it's just being aware of your surroundings and also, being prepared for what could happen.
Understand your environment, know who's out there and what to do if and when you see them, because you never know. You know, every wild animal is an individual. They behave differently, so you don't know how that animal's going to respond. In Kyle's situation, he came across this lion on a trail that he'd run time and time and time again. But that day, the stars aligned and their paths crossed.
Kyle, it was great to meet you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
And Denise, thank you for being here also and sharing your knowledge about these incredible animals.
Kevin, it was a pleasure talking to you today, and if your viewers want any more information, I encourage them to visit mountainlion.org.
Wow, that was pretty cool, huh? I remember seeing that video when it went viral a few months back. It was amazing to see what family does to protect each other.